help amplify these artists and to also onboard consumers that go through those spaces to Web3, because I just have been in here for a couple of years and really I see all of the potential that's already happening, you know, the social do good, the stories that are coming out. And I really want more women alongside of me and the people in the space that are benefiting and growing with it. So I'm grateful that Heather is doing what she's doing, because as you'll hear tonight, onboarding is hard, and Heather has kind of put it into a language that I think really resonates with people. And so I'm excited, to talk about it.
Okay, sweet. Yay. I know. When I met Deborah in New York, I was like, oh my gosh. Well, I was at an event space where she had physical art, real art in the space that linked to digital assets that I owned. Like, I was like, wait a minute, I own that collection. It's called Someplace. It's like a mobile metaverse. So people can like display their digital collectibles in an application, and you can share with your friends. Your friends can walk your digital gallery. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have that. And there's the real life painting. I was like, this is such a great application. And I love what you guys are doing. And I know it's going to succeed. It's going to be amazing. So fun to watch you grow. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into the presentation. Like I said before, there's a chat. So please feel free to throw your questions in there along the way. No question is too stupid. Most people here have never heard of any of these terms, so don't feel like you are asking a dumb question. When I learned Web3, like I remember telling my friend, Scott, who was the miner, I was like, dude, like if a new car comes out, like when electric cars came out, I was like, okay, I understand electric cars because I know what electricity is and I know what a car is, right? I can put those, I have data points in my brain to put it together. But when you talk about blockchain and hash marks and immutable and all these fun words, there's nothing. It's literally blank space. So be easy on yourself. There's nothing to pull on. These are all new concepts. This is a whole new technology, and you don't really need to know all this. I'm going to give you like the broad strokes of it so that you can feel like you can trust it and you can put your hands on it a little bit. But the crux of this, you don't need to know, but I know you have to know it just to be like, okay, I feel like I want to participate in this space, right? So, all right, let's go full screen. All right, can everyone see my screen? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to shrink this. Bing. Okay, bye guys. All right, and Deborah, feel free to interrupt me because if I'm chatting, I may not notice the chat. So you can interrupt me if there's a great question, or if you have a question, please do. Okay, so Wine, Wallets, and Web3 by 3Spaces. Let's go. Here we go. Welcome to Web3. This is your time. The first thing we're going to talk about is cryptocurrency, because it is the basis of what we're talking about, how you can purchase these digital assets, right? So these, again, remember, these are broad concepts. Don't be overwhelmed. So now when you buy money or when you spend money, it goes from you to your bank to Target or to your babysitter if you Venmo or Zelle. So you might go through your bank, might go through PayPal. Cryptocurrency eliminates all the middleman. So all it is it's decentralized money, and we'll get to that, for peer-to-peer transactions, meaning you can pay someone with Bitcoin or Ethereum directly. You don't need anybody else, no platform, no Apple, no bank, no anything, right? It's just a way to send money. That's it. That's all it is. So decentralized digital money for peer-to-peer transactions sounds super confusing, but we'll break it down. Decentralized just means there is no central controlling power over decision making, which is what I was talking about at the beginning, meaning it's yours, right? Like there is no bank to call. There is no someone watching over you, helping you, no FDIC. Like I said, it's yours. You own it. It's the power of digital ownership. And it's digital money. So it's just an equivalent to government money, except it's digital. There is no physical coin to it. You see these pictures and these are like images they use, but there's no digital Bitcoin. It's all a technology. It's an algorithm. So, and it for peer-to-peer transactions, like I said, between Venmo and PayPal, it can be used for anything. Like for people that I transact business with, like I had someone helping me with a business, something with CoinQueens recently, and I just shoot them Ethereum, right? Like it just goes from my wallet to her wallet, and I own that Ethereum and so does she, and there's nobody in between that. And Bitcoin and Ethereum are just two types of cryptocurrencies. There are thousands, but these are what you would be considered blue chips. So if you know anything about stocks, like there's blue chip stocks, those are just ones that have been proven over time for the length of what cryptocurrency has been around to be consistent, to be true and tried. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are the most popular. There are definitely more coming up, but for the purposes of this conversation, we'll just talk about these two. So each cryptocurrency has their own blockchain. And that's just a ledger. So just think of it like your old checkbook, right? Like where you recorded every little transaction. So each Bitcoin has a blockchain, Ethereum has a blockchain, Polygon has a blockchain, and every one of those blockchains has a ledger, a record of every transaction from the very beginning of when that blockchain started. And every time a new transaction is made, it is put onto the blockchain. It cannot be edited. They use this fun word called immutable, which just means you can't change it. It's there forever. And the history is there for everyone to see. It's all public, all open source, you'll hear people say. So, and there's two different mechanisms for validating. So when you think about security, like how do you know those transactions are real? And proof of work is one, proof of stake is another. And we can get into those in a later conversation, but just know there are mechanisms in place to make sure that the transactions are valid. And a good example that I like to use is if someone was going to try and say fix or go back and like change something or mess with something. So you have thousands of computers that are validating these transactions, right? That are spread out, they're decentralized, they're all over the place. So if someone wanted to change a transaction on the blockchain, they'd have to change every ledger on all of the thousands of the servers. And you may think, well, that's fine, they could do that. Well, the amount of electricity that it would take to change just one transaction on all of those thousands of servers is equal to like a small country's electricity outage, power. So it's like, it's not going to happen. It's as close to, you know, as safe as you could be with being tamper proof. And I could get into the details of that if anyone want to have a deeper conversation, but you really don't need to know the mechanism of how they work. You just need to know that it does work. And then we'll get into blockchain, which we were just talking about. So when I was just saying it's decentralized. So now you think about like TikTok or Snapchat or any applications, Facebook or whatever you have on your phone, right? So when you access TikTok, it is in a server, right? You're accessing TikTok servers. But if TikTok's server like farm where they house everything burned up to a fire and it was gone, then, or a hacker got into it, then there's no more TikTok. But if it was decentralized and you had servers all over, thousands of them, if one blew up or one got damaged, it's fine. It's like everyone owns a little piece of TikTok on their phone if it was decentralized, right? So it just like protects it. It's like another layer of security. So the blockchain is just that network of thousands of computers that verify the transactions. And on those blockchains, specifically Ethereum, which is what we're going to talk to tonight, there's a software program that runs on them they call smart contracts. And you'll hear that a lot. That's what an NFT is, and which we'll talk about in a second. But a smart contract is just, it's a software program and it automatically, it's coded and it executes anything that you want when there's a predetermined set of conditions. Like if I was going to say, you know, Deborah, when at 8:59 tonight, right before our Zoom started, I'm going to send you $1,000 if 50 people join this call. If those, you know, things happened, boop, the money would get sent right to her. It's permissionless. I don't have to do anything. It's like if the code requirements are met, it executes. So it's just like a software program. And when you think about a traditional contract, you have to go to a court of law, you know, to talk about it, to debate it, to defend your side. And I give a good example. I don't know if you guys remember this. It's been a few years now, but GoFundMe had a little bit of a debacle back when the truckers were protesting. I don't know if you guys remember that. So GoFundMe, someone started a fundraiser on GoFundMe. And it was to support the truckers. And then for whatever reason, someone at GoFundMe was on the opposite side of the truckers. So they basically shut down that and they were going to divert funds to whatever use they wanted to use them for. So the people that had put all their money in lost the power, right? Because GoFundMe had controlling power over the money now. And so had that been a smart contract, that could have been programmed to say, once, this GoFundMe is going to run for 5 days. Once the 5 days is up, or whether a certain amount of money value is met, then the funds would be automatically distributed to the wallets of all of the truckers. So, and there's no way to mess with that, right? It's coded in, it's just the way it goes. So that's just kind of an example of how that works. And NFTs, when you hear people talk about them, which stands for non-fungible token, it's just a smart contract. It's just that NFT is a smart contract that's on the blockchain, and it can execute any instructions that you want it to. It could be rights to art, like Deborah is like, can validate people own art through an NFT. It can validate ownership of a music, film. Deborah is involved in that as well. It can give you access. So when I was in NFT NYC, and I'm sure when Deborah and Amanda and Natalie, when you were there in RISA, we all had access through the NFTs that we own. They gave us access to events or to parties. Madonna, Kesha, it was amazing. And then there's even, there's a restaurant who's done a really unique model in New York called Fly Fish Club. And you had to buy an NFT to even just have the right to make a reservation at the restaurant. So up at the height of the market, I think the NFT was selling for thousands of dollars. That doesn't pay for your dinner. That's just for the right to make a reservation at their restaurant. So it's a really interesting model because, if you're basically creating scarcity, you are, creating demand for this restaurant for the right to be in that restaurant. So then it drives the prices up, right? Like basic economics. So that's what NFTs strive to do. But the price of them are dictated by the success typically of the NFT community or of the product or service they are selling. I mean, if you could create an NFT, I have people talk to me all the time. Oh, I want to create an NFT project. I want to sell something for millions of dollars. And they, create some art, or I have a friend who is brilliant and she's studying AI. She's already a mad woman engineer and now she's doing AI. She's like, I want to create some art. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, you should. And she's like, what do you think it could sell for? Like $5,000? And I'm like, I don't know. Why would someone buy that? Like, I don't know. Like, what value are you giving them? It doesn't just magically provide value because you made it a 1,000-piece NFT collection just because you made it scarce. There still has to be value behind it. So I think a lot of people think about scams when they think about NFTs. And I think it's just from miseducated or misaligned values for people who are coming in, seeing this new technology and not knowing quite how to use it correctly. I don't know. There is definitely scams, just like we are scammed now. But I think overall, I think it's just a learning curve, right? And I think it's just the price of innovation at this point is working through all of this. So it is a big opportunity for brands, and we'll talk about that later. It is currently not very user-friendly. There's a lot to be developed as far as usability, scalability, but we're getting there. And the more that people are participating and the more that brands are entering to help improve the use cases and weed out the problems and the ways it's not working, then solutions will be made. And you buy NFTs, I didn't say this, you buy them using the cryptocurrency that we just talked about. And it says on the screen, if you see it, it says you buy it with gas fees. That's just a transaction fee, just like if it's like if Apple charged you, a percentage or whatever of, or it's like tax, basically. It's a gas fee. So does anyone have any questions on this part? I can't get to my chat for whatever reason. I don't know why. So Deborah, if you see any questions, can you?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the chat either, which is odd. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll let you know if I see any.
Okay, or if anyone gets something.
I'll monitor it. No questions so far.
Thank you,
We
Vanessa.
appreciate you. Okay, well, good. That means that it's super clear and everyone can host this themselves and tell all of their friends in their community all about blockchain and cryptocurrency. It makes total sense, right? Okay, let's go on. All right, what are NFTs? This one everyone probably knows, the Bored Ape. If you've been around a bit, Bored Apes, when I first saw them, were selling for around $10,000. Oh, the chat just popped up. Oh, hi. And now they've been, they've sold for millions of dollars, right? So why would someone spend millions of dollars on an NFT? That makes
no question here. Are they all selling for that much money?
Board apes. Yeah, the floor price, I think last time I checked was about 90 ETH. So what's the price of ETH right now? 1,500. So what's
13, yeah, a lot of money.
a lot of money? So
Don't I have
90.
Deborah?
What, Mom?
Don't I have that, Deborah?
What?
Don't I have one of those?
A board ape? No, you have the grandpa apes. It was one of, no,
Oh,
it was a spin-off, essentially. Sorry to disappoint you.
Okay. Not the right
Deborah.
idea anymore.
Be better, Deborah. No, yeah. So the floor price on one of these is probably like $150,000. So, but that's for like your base model, right? So then the ones that maybe have more desirable characteristics, or maybe that look similar to a celebrities that they bought for $1.5 million, then their price goes up. So NFTs that we just learned about how they're created. And don't like dwell on that. Don't like sit and simmer in your head unless you want to become a developer, unless you want to create your own NFT or go down that path. It's not important. Now you just know the basics of like, okay, so there's this blockchain and these cryptos all have their own blockchain, and you can create these smart contracts to execute virtually anything. And we'll talk more about that. So then we're going to talk about NFTs right now. So people now in your community, you express who you are by the way you dress, by the way you do your hair, by the way you decorate your house, the cars you drive. Why do you hold that Gucci bag if you like labels? You all do that to express who you are, right? Or maybe you don't wear makeup, and you wear like more of like the hippie clothes because it's making a statement, right? Like things, your values, your identity is important, and everyone expresses who they are in a multitude of ways. And virtual identities are becoming much more important. People are spending much more time on phones, on Zooms, hello. And your virtual identity is going to become more and more important. And right now we're doing it through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and we're going to be moving into things like the metaverse eventually. I don't think I think there's a lot of exploration to be done, but I don't think that the metaverse has to be full up and running for digital identity to be important, because the things like, digital flexing, like having a bored ape on your Instagram profile to let people know that you bought a piece of digital art for $150,000 is the same reason someone would buy a Gucci purse or have this fancy, Louboutins in her closet. But now she gets to have it on her social media and display it in other ways where it's more easily expressible, right? So art, you have a really amazing piece of art on your wall, you have a Rembrandt or something ridiculous in your home. Who sees that? Only the people that come into your home. You have a $1 million piece of digital art. It's taking that art off the walls and making it accessible for all. And art is just, I think art is always going to be something so important to our culture, to human beings, not just our culture, but it's beautiful. It enhances our life. And now having this digital expression through our virtual identity, I think is just going to be so magical. And it already is, right? But it's with such a small group of people who are seeing it and valuing it. And I think that's only going to grow as more adoption comes. So I think it'll be another asset class, just like fine wine, fine art, luxury goods. I think NFTs will be just another asset class that will be blue chip NFTs. There's a multitude of them, and there'll be certain caches of different artists, I think, but overall they will definitely, in my opinion, become an asset class. And like I said, why I think we're far away from the metaverse, charity, which I can talk about what I do with charity and NFTs, community, like people love community, and finding ourselves out of COVID times and trying to create community digitally. NFTs are powerful for that. Social networking and just basic virtual status signaling, like the digital flex. People love to do that, and NFTs will empower that proof of ownership, which is what people will be like, well, can't you just take a picture of it, right click save? You can walk out of the museum and look at a Mona Lisa, and then you can buy a picture of it to put on your wall in your home, a print, but that doesn't mean you own the Mona Lisa, right? What good is it? You don't have ownership to it. You can't sell the Mona Lisa. You can't make that money. What NFTs do is they prove that ownership. So now you're flexing your Mona Lisa and you're like, hey, but check it, I own it. And you can prove it. It's all public. It's all easily accessible. It's just, takes it to the next level. And on a fun, like side tangent for the fashion part, which I didn't talk about, is Gucci, Louis, all of those brands are really looking into this, because one of the big things, like secondary sales of those bags, there's two things about fashion, I'll say. Secondary sales of designer bags, it's hard to know, are they legit? So using NFTs as proof of digital ownership and tracking like the hands of where that's been, how cool would it be if someone was like, oh, you're owning this, Birkin that Jackie O used to carry or something ridiculous like that. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll have that one. So just like thinking of all those ways. So the digital tracking and the proof of that it's real. And then also, if you do collect luxury items in fashion, which a lot of people do, or luxury art, or not luxury art, but high-end art, now you have a digital collection of that fashion, of that art online. So it's not just hiding in your closet. Now you have a way to like display all these beautiful pieces, and high-end fashion is art, in my opinion. And these are some of the ways, some of the things, and I don't know, Deborah, I'll talk about a couple of these. And then if Julie is on and wanted to talk about what she's doing in film and TV, please, let's have her come up. But we've talked about some of these. One of the things I'll say is fundraisers. So I'm a chair of Kids Beating Cancer, which is a local nonprofit here. It's an amazing, we just had our 30th anniversary, and I've created 2 NFT collections for them. And basically, if you go to a fundraiser or a charity event, you always have a silent auction and you're always bidding on these things like a basket of wine or a golf trip or, pillows for your couch. And you're going to spend, whatever you're going to spend because you're going to donate anyway. And you don't care what you get. And you're like annoyed. Like I had a friend who had to take home a popcorn machine a few years ago. And he was like, I just want to leave it here at the hotel because I don't want to lug that popcorn machine home. And I'm like, I get it. So I had this great idea because every year with the charity, we're trying to think of new ways. How do we, engage with the donors? How do we raise more money, right? We're trying to end pediatric cancer. And so I was like, you guys want to take a chance on some NFTs? So we had a fashion show in the spring and it was about 400 women that attended, and we sold 5 NFTs and we raised about $5,000, a little over $5,000. And I was like, this is beautiful. People get this amazing digital art piece that they can post everywhere that says, shows their philanthropy, and it's cute. It's like a digital rendition of the mascot for the charity, which is cute Bunky Bear. And they don't have to take anything home, and they immediately get this collectible. I airdropped it to them. They got to set up their wallet with me over a Zoom for like 10 minutes, and then they got airdropped their digital collectible. And I also emailed them the JPEG just so they had it. But yeah, so I think for fundraising, it's a really unique opportunity. And then we just had our gala in, oh my gosh, it was just this month. No, it's October now. So it was September. We had it, and we did some of the NFTs. The kids colored the Bunky Bear, and then we turned those into digital art pieces, and then those were auctioned off, and it was such a success. It was amazing. Anyway, so I don't know if Julie's here to want to talk about film and TV. I could talk about each of these for so long, so I don't want to, it kind of depends on like what you think. Deborah, what do you think like the audience wants to hear? If Julie's here, let her.
Julie is not here. So she literally has just started filming her film. So this was just the timing of it was not ideal. I didn't give her a whole lot of advance notice, but I can share what she's doing, which is a very cool use case for NFTs. And I love just the charity piece. To me, that was one of the pieces that really drew me in the most because of the transparency of the technology that allows like 2 things, and then I'll go into the film one, but it allows smaller charities to get access to communities globally, and then it also allows funding to be sent to places and we know it actually got there, right? And it can bypass government so that if there's something going on, such as the Ukraine, there was a huge Ukraine NFT project that raised $1 million in 10 seconds of art sales and was directly deposited into accounts in the Ukraine, and it was able to bypass the government. And that one has always been one that just stood out, like the power of it. So, and I really love that aspect. And I feel in terms of use cases, also when I talk about film in a second, then the neighbor who is a project that's here with us tonight, maybe that would be a chance to talk about another use case for it. But for film, so Julie Pacino is a filmmaker and producer, and she has basically she created an NFT project that some people equated to a GoFundMe to fund it, but it was really not quite that. It's that she created a community and then she sold photographs that are inspirational to the film that she is filming as of now. That's essentially the first ever film funded by the sale of NFTs, but the people that own her work actually get to have a part of the creative conversation about her movie. And so she built a community, and then this community wanted to be involved. And so these NFTs were sold. And now, you know, she gets to bring in people that are really interested in film, and they get to be part of it. They chat all the time. She's really open and available to it. So it's really cool. So she's working with us in 3Spaces to help curate photography, because she's also photography and film. And I think the key also piece for her and a lot of film and musicians are cutting out, again, that middleman to allow artists and consumers direct access without having that big chunk taken out in the middle by like Ticketmaster or, you know, so that's exciting because it really puts the money back where it should be. So yeah, I'm sorry she couldn't join tonight, but if there's any other, you know, ones, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, no, I think that's, and I bought, or I didn't buy because they were free, but Mila Kunis did, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember. And I own two of them. It was on Solana, which is a different blockchain. She created this TV series, The Gimmicks, got it. So The Gimmicks, and basically your digital collectible or your NFT was a character in the show. And so if you had a character, whatever your character was, you might get to vote on like what the storyline was, or like who like got, you know, something happened to them that week or whatever. It was a very interesting way just to engage, which I think is basically the whole idea for creating these micro communities around film or music. Or like I met a musician, Violetta, down in Miami. She topped Snoop one like week for whatever, and she did it all through NFT sales. So she, you know, she's young, so she has this ability to be a little more free with her risk taking. So she created this album using NFTs to sell it, and people could buy their music through the NFT. So that's just hers, right? There's no platform fee. There's no, like, she's hers, like it's her music. She has access to her fans, which most musicians, most brands, you know, want to have that direct access to their brands. And now she does. And now she has this special little community. They buy her music. She, you know, gets these special relationships with them. She can engage with them in a deeper way. It's really cool to see. So yeah, I mean, when we talk about the projects coming up, like, and the neighbor can discuss too when we get to theirs, it's there's so many different ways. And that's why I love having these, because I feel like every time we have one of these, there's someone who goes, oh my gosh, this is what I do. And I would love to have access to my community in this way. I would love to engage with this, say, with my consumers or my fans or whatever it is. So we can, I mean, there's a million different ways we can talk about this, but we'll get into some more. There's more coming. Oh, and here's one, Starbucks, which was literally like my glory moment when Starbucks they were alluding to, they were going to do some sort of digital asset, an NFT. People didn't know. And I was like, no way in hell did they call it an NFT, because there's too much negative word association with that, even though that's what it is. They've got to change their vernacular to appeal, like, and not scare off anybody or think they're doing something. But they have an amazing loyalty reward program, right? Like if you go to Starbucks, you have an app, you collect your stars and your points, you can get like free treats, free drinks, whatever. But your loyalty points live in the Starbucks app and they die in the Starbucks app. You either want a free coffee that day or you don't, like, or you want your free croissant or you don't. So they've created Starbucks Odyssey, and they've given like high level of what it is. But basically, it's going to be on Polygon, which is like a derivative of the ETH blockchain, if you care. And it's like cheaper, more scalable, faster transactions, whatever, doesn't matter. But so they're creating their program. And you're going to collect stamps. So they're not calling them NFTs, they're journey stamps. And when you go on these journeys, you collect these stamps, and these stamps, you accrue them, you own them, they're yours. Remember, you digitally own them. This is all yours, lives in your wallet that you own. There's no one else, it's all yours. And say, you know, they're like, okay, anyone with a collectability score of 1,000 stamps gets, you know, whatever you want. Maybe they have a partnership with some new musician because they love music, right? They're always like dropping the music in their stores, those little music cards. And then say you're like, well, that's useless to me. I collected all these points and now I can get some stupid concert tickets or some stupid music I don't want. But there's probably people who do like that and will be like, well, shoot, I want those those points, you could sell your points. You own them. There's going to be a marketplace where you can go on and sell your loyalty points, and people might want them. Or people like, it's like when Delta, you know, like you're like, well, I'm going to get a Delta card and I want to get all those points so I can like level up my status, you know, kind of the same idea. But it's putting power out of Delta's hands. It's putting power in the consumer's hands, because now you own your loyalty points. You can do what you want. And so I think Starbucks is brilliant, and it validates everything that I've been talking about the last year to all the brands and the businesses that I've spoken with. And I'm like, have you seen what they just did? Because what everyone thinks, it's like they've got to like throw out everything they know about their business that they do and how they operate now on the internet and in their consumer loyalty, but you don't. It's not a dismissing of any of how you currently do business. It's a new addition to. It's going to enhance the way you do business. I think it is the holy grail of brand loyalty programs. I think it's going to, for instance, let's harp on Starbucks a little more. So you'll hear this fun word called interoperability and all these funky stuff. But basically, Starbucks, you find them in Target, right? You go to Target, there's Starbucks in there. So clearly they have like a brand partnership, right? So if Target wanted to access Starbucks top customers and be like, hey, anyone who has 20,000 stamps, you get 20% off at Target today. What do you think that's going to do? All those Starbucks, let's go to Target and buy all the things. We don't need much prompting to do that typically, right? So it allows brands to engage. Or what if you're a new coffee shop moving into my town and you go in and you go, let me find all of Starbucks's top loyalists. I'm going to airdrop them, because you have access to this. You just airdrop them free coffee for a week to your new coffee shop. I mean, how brilliant is that? Like, it's this amazing opportunity, this whole like open source Web3 where nobody, it's just amazing. I think it's so cool. And I can't wait to see all the way. And I could literally spend 10,000 hours on this slide. So I'm going to keep moving on. But anyway, it allows for active participation and tokenization. And tokenization just means those digital collectibles, right? Like that's an NFT could be considered a token. Those words are like interchangeable. And it just helps brands align incentives with their consumer. So, and then you have this record, this digital record on the blockchain of how your consumer is being prompted to engage. What are they most active on? If think about Disney Plus, or Disney, anyway, I could go into what I think Disney should do, but Disney Plus, they could see their, customer who watched 10 Star Wars movies that month. They could airdrop them like a Darth Vader NFT. And like, how rad would that be for that consumer? And then they're like more prompted to keep watching and to keep buying and to keep, just engages that loyalty even more. And it will represent, because your wallet represents your purchases, right? All of these collectibles and these NFTs that you purchase are in your wallet. So it helps shape like a nice picture of who you are, whether it's what you're giving to, what concerts you're going to, what fashion you're buying. It's this really interesting, and then we can have a whole privacy conversation about that. But anyway, it's a really unique opportunity for brands, in my opinion. And it engages, like I said, it engages the consumer in a different way. So I think it changes from a consumer to a participant. Like it gives the consumer an identity in this relationship, like with the brands, which I think will be very powerful. Okay, moving on. This shouldn't say women, that should just say people in Web3, because we're doing all the projects tonight. So Deborah, we've got 6 different NFT projects I thought we could talk about. We don't have to talk about all of them. You're welcome to screenshot it and at your leisure research, or email me after, and I'm happy to talk about any of these. But for sure want to talk about Legs and Ledgers, which is Deborah's, and also Neighbor. And then I'm just going to click to the next. We have some others, like Pixie Jars is one that Deborah wanted to speak about, and Mavion is an interesting one. They have jewelry pieces. I'll quickly touch on these just so we can spend the crux of our time on Legs and Ledgers and Neighbor. But Mavion, she had an in real life jewelry company, and she created an NFT around them, and the jewelry, see right there, that necklace, which that's actually my NFT, I own that. And so I minted, which means I purchased this NFT directly from them. And then at a certain point, I will get mailed that necklace. So, and now I have this cute picture. It's a beautiful picture that I can do whatever I want with because I own it. And I also get the necklace in real life. That's fun. And then Hug on the right, that little space looking person. They're doing all a bunch of cool things, but in like the long and short of it, for what I think the general Web3 entrant would think about it, it's like a way to like research projects, like a Rotten Tomatoes for NFT projects, like what you want to invest in. But anyway, let's talk about Legs and Ledgers, Deborah, and then Neighbor can like shoot a little bit of intro about who they are, because I don't know them either. So I'm so stoked to learn.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be brief about Legs and Ledgers, but I know we have a lot to cover, but I will say I'm really excited also that Hug is up here. I am the committee lead for the Hedgehog committee within the Hug community. And so that's how I met the Neighbor. And so I'm excited for them to be here. And yeah, so Legs and Ledgers is an NFT project created by Reed, who's in the space, and I, and you know, the whole safety conversation that we had, while I do know scams in Web 2 and Web 3 are equally prevalent, there's not an increase in it per se, it's just new technology. And so I think people that are not familiar with the technology could be more easily scammed. And so because I was a victim of a scam early on, I created, along with Reed, Women in Crypto, and Amanda, who's in here, also helped, which is a safety-based project to link, basically help educate people who are new to the space. So our NFT project, which is now 70% sold out, which is very exciting, is an art and music collaboration, and you can't hear the music in, you know, in this space, but I worked with two people that were basically really early on supporters of us in the space, Francesca from Lost Girls, and then Adriana, who's a musician. So it's a collaboration. And if you purchase this NFT, you get a hardware wallet, which is essentially a safety piece that we don't have to go into too much, but it's one way to protect yourself from things being stolen from your wallet. And then you also get to chat with Reed and I about any issues you have setting it up, any safety questions. So we really tried to make something fun, inviting, that's also related to safety, which was not talked about readily when I first joined the space. It is more now, so that's good. And then yeah, we can launch into the Neighbor, which is a project that just joined the Hug Accelerator program for pre-mint projects. So pre-mint means that they have not fully launched their project yet, but they will be in the next 2 to 3 months. And so the Hug team that I am part of is advising them before they go into their full launch. And I met them today on a Zoom call, and I really loved the utility behind the project. And I thought it would be a really cool one to help everyone here who's new see possible use cases for NFTs for amazing do good situations. So Charmaine, I'm assuming, let me scroll down and see, I'm assuming you're still in here. If you want to jump up and just talk to us about it, I would love to give you the floor.
Thanks, Deb. Thanks, everyone. I'm Char. I'm one of the co-founders for Neighbor. We are building the future of neighborhoods by bridging Web 2 and Web 3 by creating the first utility NFT that distributes rewards to solve affordable housing. So here are the few ways that we do it. We're actually purchasing neighborhoods across the US. And we also have a DAO where essentially through the DAO, our holders and also residents of our neighborhoods have the ability of owning the narrative of gentrification in their area. As you might know, depending on where you live, gentrification is a very hard problem to solve. And a lot of the people are experiencing inaffordable housing. And we have digital nomads, 20 million of them in the US, who've decided to lean towards short-term rentals and business tourism rather than owning a home or renting an apartment. So our goal is to create a two-sided market where we can create new mixed housing for the modern economy, which incorporates affordable housing and short-term rentals. And then our short-term rentals are helping to pay for our affordable housing, which creates a regenerative economy. And our holders, by promoting our project and also our rentals, get net profit rewards. And we're a 10-year-long project that's hoping to create at least 100 buildings in the next 10 years and supporting at least 10,000 minimum wage workers in getting affordable housing. And so we're excited to kind of, be a part of this event. And kind of share a little bit more about our project. As Deb shared, we are pre-mint, we are minting in November. And so on the chat, I'll kind of drop our Twitter information. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about us, feel free to DM us. And we're also excited to be part of the Hugs community as well. So thank you.
Okay, first of all, regenerative economy, that's amazing. Is that like your term? Like, did you guys make that up? That's amazing.
Oh, no, it's an economics term.
It is. I'm like, I have never heard, like, I don't know. I mean, I know what gentrification is. I used to live in Georgia, so we have plenty of communities in that area that are hard hit by that. So I think that's such you're right, a unique and interesting problem to try and solve. Like as land becomes more scarce in these areas that people want to be in. So very cool. Like that is amazing. Like, I love that. Congratulations. I can't wait to follow you along. I'm also in Hug as well, so I'll definitely be peeking on what you're doing. I love that. I think that's a beautiful use case. Does anyone have any questions about that? That's amazing. I love it. Deb, thank you for introducing them.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, jump in. I think you were saying your first community that you're planning on working on is in Massachusetts. Is that right? I think you said earlier.
Yeah, so our first community is going to be in North Adams, Massachusetts. It's home to the Mass MoCA, which is the largest contemporary art museum in the country. It's a city of 13,000 that experience 500,000 tourists every year. And so because of that, they're dealing with a lot of gentrification, where livable wage has gone from $13 an hour to $20 an hour, so much so that employees of the Mass MoCA have started to protest because of the livable wage. And so our goal is saying, hey, we know that there are a lot of people already traveling to this town or city. How could we leverage tourism to benefit essential workers? And as you might have experienced, I went to school in Atlanta. I currently live in San Francisco. I'm originally from LA. I lived in New York for about 8 years. Is a lot of towns of different sizes are experiencing gentrification. Minimum wage workers can't afford to rent a 1-bedroom apartment in every county in America. And so how could we create a new type of business model that does a lot of good, solves a lot of impact, but also rewards our holders, where we can get to a point where we once we have 100 buildings and we're distributing these net profits to our distributed marketing team, which is our holders, that could also potentially be their income, where they could be making thousands of dollars because we're not leveraging a centralized marketing team. Our holders are a marketing team. And so that gives them the ability of kind of owning their own financial safety net while giving them also the opportunity of owning the narrative of gentrification with local residents as well.
I love it. I mean, all the skin in the game, all the right, I mean, that's all the right parts to like, address all the different issues. Brilliant. I can't wait to talk more. I know it's not like the purpose of this. So, but that's amazing. Thank you for sharing. No, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
So sorry to interrupt you. We have a question from Judy, if you want to go ahead. Judy, are you there? Hello?
I
Julie.
think that Charmaine
Judy,
basically
not Julie.
answered my question. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I think she just answered my question in this last statement, but to go back to the basics, so people that buy your NFTs will be investing in your projects to help these communities. And what you will be doing is investing that money into the community. How will you increase the investment on that project?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you for that. So our mint is going to be investing in more buildings and also building out a learn to earn platform. And so if we're thinking specifically about these communities, we are going to be buying blocks in these cities and transforming them where the individuals who are essential workers in these cities can continue to afford, live, and work in their towns or cities, because that is a pressing issue that, you know, a lot of cities are facing in the US right now. And so our goal with our first mint drop is to essentially buy our first 5 buildings and then build our first neighborhood. And then through our business model, because real estate is a stable asset, that gives us the ability of then building out a regenerative economy where we're utilizing our short-term rentals to help supply more affordable housing. And so as we are growing, our neighborhoods are also growing as well. And instead of us essentially trying to keep all of the money and be a lot of traditional Web2 developers, our goal is to distribute our wealth, not just to our residents who can live there more affordably and are only spending 30% of their monthly income on rent, which is actually deemed as affordable housing, and also our holders who get an upside by, you know, really being a part of our mission. They get rewards as we grow. And so as we get to 100 buildings, they're growing with us and really getting the rewards as well.
Sounds like a wonderful project. Congratulations and good luck.
I mean, such a beautiful way to show like how this technology, like we need like Charmaines, like we need all the Charmaines like to learn about blockchain, like so that they, like I always say anytime, when I used to only do these in real life, I've only recently, since I started CoinQueens, doing them on Zooms through like communities that I've gotten to know through, you know, my people on our team. And I always say, like, I'm not going to innovate with the blockchain. Like I have a certain skill set and I'm going to run with that, but I like need all of the Charmaines and all the devs like to learn about it so that they can take it into their industry and they can innovate with it. And that to me is female empowerment. That to me is how you change someone's life and the future generations of their families' lives, because you're giving them this amazing opportunity to create, you know, the next big opportunity in tech in their industry. Like blockchain is going to touch every industry it is. It's just, and there's already companies that you don't even know about that are using it and their personal blockchains and you know, things for like logistics and everything. So anyway, congratulations, Charmaine, on your project. I can't wait to see it launch. I'll definitely be watching. And I love the real estate vibe. I know Deb had mentioned there's some people, I think there's other realtors in here, and there's things from like what you're doing to even as simple as, this was like last year or the beginning of this year in Florida, leave it to Florida, we had the first auction of a home using NFTs. Like it was sold with not NFTs, really, it was a smart contract, but they tried to codify all of the rules of the sale of like all the real estate contract law, which is a disaster. Everyone who closes on a home and sells a home, you know, all of that. So trying to create a smart contract or multiple smart contracts for the sale of a home. And it was a success. It was very cool. So it's called Propus. I can't remember, but I can look it up and I can share it if anyone cares. But it's very interesting. And there's a lot of real estate action happening. So lots you can clue in on. But we don't have to talk about any more of these since we covered some. And Hug, we talked about Mavion. So cool. They're amazing. Their founder, and they're still minting, like if you wanted some fancy jewelry, but she's a hustler. I mean, she is really trying to change the way that designers make money in the space, right? Talking about how she always talks about how she had these independent designers who couldn't scale to sell their products in a Neiman Marcus, right? They can't meet that market demand, but they have beautiful goods and people want to buy them. So she was, you know, helping them outside of Web3, and then saw this technology to be like, wow, I can solve this problem and I can help independent designers scale and make money and because they can get secondary sales, they get royalties on the sales. Like if I sell this, then the artist who created this gets royalties on the sale of it because it's their art. It's amazing. It's like if Picasso would have, you know, had his art in NFTs, he wouldn't have, you know, died sad. But anyway, okay. So this is like a nice little summary point. Just when you think about NFTs, like who you would be, some people on this call, and usually it's in real life and it's more interactive. So I'm like, you know, transitioning to my Zoom life, but you could be, are you a creator? Like thinking about all these technologies, who are, you know, how would you apply this to your life? Do you want to create something? Are you an artist? Are you a real estate agent that you see a problem like Charmaine did? And you're like, how can I use this technology to solve it? Like incentivizing, it's just what I talked about, right? Like using tokens to incentivize your community to meet this common goal. It's such a beautiful way to do what Charmaine just did. And there's a million industries, and just thinking about who are you, or are you just a collector, just like Beanie Babies or Playbills, or like there's so many fun communities to be a part of with NFTs. And maybe you hit a big one like a Bored Ape, but most of them are not going to be Bored Apes, but there is a collectability part of it. It's fun. Like that rainbow there. Jack Prettyman, actually, he did my logo for CoinQueens, the bees, but he has these amazing 3D collections. And I don't buy his art because I think it's going to be worth millions of dollars one day. I buy his art because I want him to keep making it. I buy his art for the same reasons I buy art at the farmer's market or jewelry at the farmer's market of artisans there that I think are beautiful and I want to support them. It's fun, right? There's a collectability factor. It's fun. You can show it off. You can use it in different ways. So there's all the different ways to participate. Or are you going to innovate? Are you a coder? Are you like super cool, some sort of developer, and you're like, ooh, I want to do this better. You dive into what Charmaine's doing, and maybe you're like, oh yeah, your contracts are this way, but I could make it better. Let's do this. And there's so many opportunities depending on who you are in Web3 and where you want to take it. So, okay, so this was a lot of information, clearly, and we're about, at our hour. So we are at our hour, actually. But anyway, we'll wrap it up kind of in a nice little bow here. So CoinQueen Circle, if you did want to learn more, so CoinQueens is our team of women. We have about 30 of us in various industries, like I said, and then us along with some other women in the Web3 industry that I've added to our community. We created CoinQueen Circle. Oh, wait, there it is. And basically it's just a platform for people to learn. So it kind of covers all of the topics that we talked about, the high levels, and then there's deeper ones like decentralized finance and DAOs, like decentralized autonomous organizations. There's so much to learn, right? And it can be so overwhelming. So the whole idea of CoinQueen Circle is a platform to just direct new people to have a curated place to learn, where there's just so much information on the internet, and then you have access to us, right? We're all there. You could shoot us a question, you can DM us, you can watch the videos we post on there. We'll be releasing a newsletter very soon that will come out probably monthly, maybe bi-weekly if we get crazy, but probably monthly with like special editions if something cool is happening. Crypto and all finance isn't very hot right now, so there's not always a ton to talk about. But anyway, so CoinQueen Circle, it's kind of what it is right here on your screen. You can read it all. And if anyone wanted to continue to learn past tonight, I'll give you a link to that, or I have a QR code. That's that. So if you want to either screenshot it or scan it, then you get access for a month for the platform. And if you don't want to keep using it, you just delete it off, or you just don't sign up for it. If you want to, it's $10 a month, and we're continuing adding content and projects. I do a lot of posting for people who are building like different tech solutions that I come across. I'm on the phone all day with different developers and products. So I'm always dumping into there like, oh, this new tech solution, like Deborah hooked up for NFT pay, which I just had a conversation, total side note, with Hang.xyz. They use Crossmint, by the way. Like, we'll talk about that offline, but there's so much building happening right now. So it's really interesting. If you are creating, it's nice to have like a one-stop shop to like kind of understand everything. So that's that. And then if you want to be so crazy and you want to open a wallet, we'll come back to this slide. But before we go to that slide, we got to go to this one, because before we talk about opening a wallet, so a crypto wallet gives you the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency, which gives you the opportunity to buy NFTs like the Legs and Ledger or the Neighbor whenever they mint, or anything or just cute art that you like and artists you want to support and you want to be part of their communities. So we have one of the members of CoinQueens is one of the founders of Miss O Cool Girls, and they are an actual Web2 brand. Web2 just meaning the internet that exists now. It's like an app. It's like the #1 rated teen girl application in real life. Like that exists now. It's not just this product that's being developed. It is now. And they do a lot of like safety for girls online. And now they're moving into Web3 because we don't even do a good job keeping kids safe online now. And what are we doing to think about their safety moving into the future with this technology, and how do we do that? So Miss O is going to offer $100 worth of Ethereum for anyone who opens a crypto wallet tonight. And why does she do that? She does that. They got a donation. So they have a fund called the Girls Who Mint Fund, and their goal is to give 250 girls, women, or non-binary the opportunity to start playing in the space, just to learn. Because again, like I said, that is where the, yes, you can collect for fun and all of that, but if you want to be empowered and make changes, you have to learn. And the only way to learn is not to listen to me all night. I always say at the end of this stuff, and even I have other events that are deeper, that are like really like qualitative, quantitative, nerding out stuff, because I love that. But there's only a certain amount of people who want to do that. But you have to go be free, right? Like you have to rip off your training wheels and you have to go play. You have to get a wallet, buy some crypto, sit there and watch it for the week and be like, oh, it dropped. Well, that's not cool. Oh my God, it went up. I just made $1,000 this week, or $100, whatever. Doesn't matter. If it's like playing the penny slots, you put 50 bucks in and it goes to 75. You're like, that was radical. So it's a fun, you have to play. So anyone who opens a wallet tonight, it will be entered into a raffle. If there's more than 3, if there's only 3 of you, you all win. Yay. $100 worth of free ETH. So that QR code is just a link to Mint to Miss O Cool Girl. So that will take you to her site. But whoever opens a wallet, you'll just email me or Deborah. And then we'll email that to Miss O, and they'll reach out to you and they'll help you set up your wallet. Yeah, go ahead, Deborah.
I was just gonna say, what Juliet is doing is like incredible, because she, having a daughter, she is essentially has already set up a platform that is a social, like Snapchat, but it is completely safe and it's monitored by adults and parents. And so she really is filling, I think, a gap. But I wanted to mention that what she's offering tonight is for anyone here as an adult, but also if any of you have kids, you can just go to her website and sign up, and literally she gives each child who signs up $100, and like, this is just money she's giving out. Like there's no anything, she's just trying to onboard. She is partnered with Procter and Gamble, and I don't know if that's part of the fund. I don't think. Anyway, it's amazing. So anyone, it's normally not for adults, so it's a special opportunity for like anyone who's here to get it. But if you have kids that are girls and you want them to be part of this safe online platform, and also just like sign up, and she drops them $100 just to help get girls into safe places online and to help girls and non-binary individuals into Web3. So she's amazing. So check her out. She's doing really groundbreaking things in the space to keep people safe online. So yeah, I just wanted to add that part in about going to her fund outside of this space. So thank you, Heather, for highlighting her.
Yeah, she's amazing. Her mom is amazing. They're just awesome. The whole evolution of the project, like they did a YouTube series called Hyperlinked, YouTube with Disney Hyperlinked. I mean, it's a really their commitment to the girls in this space are really cool. So I'll go click over to the next slide I'm going to put up is the slide if you want to open a wallet. So if you open a wallet, you need to have a piece of pen and a paper, because when you open a wallet, you have to write down your seed phrase, which is more important than your password, because if you lose your password, you can reset your password. If you lose your seed phrase, you lose your digital assets. So say you open a wallet and then you send me or Deb the thing, you're like, I open a wallet, and Miss O sends you $100 worth of Ethereum, and then you forget that seed phrase, you no longer have $100 worth of Ethereum. It is lost. So I would suggest writing it down twice and putting it somewhere in your fancy jewelry safe or gun safe or wherever you put it in there, because if you lose it, it's gone. So I'll scoot over to that slide now and we can talk a little bit about it. So crypto wallet. Here it is, and it's going to be 12 words. So that's the QR code. So that little fox is MetaMask. There are a ton of crypto wallets. MetaMask is the most used. It's easy, breezy, beautiful. As you deepen your knowledge, and there's all these, there's some, I'm not even gonna talk about it, other further conversations, but just for now, MetaMask is easy, breezy. That's the QR code. All it does is take you to the App Store. So I guess if you don't have an Apple, that's a problem. You just have to look up MetaMask in where you purchase your apps. But that's it. And you're gonna write down your seed phrase twice. And you're going to put it somewhere safe, because again, say you get the $100 and you're like, I'm going to mint a Miss O because that's cool. I just got $100 in free ETH and I want to support Miss O and get one. I think the mint price of hers, it depends, it fluctuates, right, on the price of Ethereum. So I think it's probably $60 now. So, and they're so cute. They're like that girl that was on her slide. But if you lose your seed phrase, you can no longer access it and it's gone. So don't do that. Okay, so that's the QR code. I'm sure everyone's had time to look it up. If you don't, then you can email me and I'll tell you, or Deb. Okay, and that was Coin Circle if you want to keep learning. And then this is the Miss O. That QR code is links to her Mint, to like her page where you can buy her NFTs. And if you buy her NFTs, you get in, she has like, you know, so all these NFT projects have these communication platforms. Like I'm doing CoinQueens Circle because my goal is to help people learn and onboard, right? So mine is Circle is not, you don't need an NFT to access it. You use your email and that's it, you know, it's just regular. But a lot of these NFT projects, to access their communities, you have to own an NFT. So that's the whole idea, like, of why you would be interested in personally. If you want to get into these communities and learn more about whatever their specific goal is, like the neighbor, you want to participate in helping fund what they're doing, or Miss O, you want to help fund what she's building. Anyway, okay. And then now that I always feel like oh yeah, go ahead, Deborah.
Sorry, there was a question in the chat. Can you open a wallet if you already have one? So I, in terms of being entered in the raffle, I would say, I don't know, Heather, what you think, but that maybe if you open a wallet for somebody who doesn't already have one in the family, or can you open one? I mean, just maybe.
Yeah, I would say it's meant for people who are new to crypto. The whole idea is like trying to onboard people, right? Like the fund is meant for trying to onboard new people to crypto. So if you've already been playing in crypto and you already buy NFTs and that's like your bag and you think it's great, then no. But because what Juliet's going to offer is when she emails you, like, and you'll send her your wallet address, which you're probably, if you've never opened a wallet before, you probably are going to need help. So you get like a 10, 15-minute call with her to help you, because typically it's for young girls, right? So they're totally like don't know what they're doing. So that she like sits down with them on a Zoom like this, helps them set up their wallet, transfers them their money, and then sends them on their way. So I would say typically no, but if you are super brand new and you just happen to have a wallet because you opened one time and you have no idea why you have a wallet, sure, but if you're like playing in the space, no, it's not intended for that. Like it's,
yeah. So I mean, I onboarded a few people in the space through the BFF event who are still really novice, but you know, if anyone really doesn't have one, and if you know, I think that they're, I think it's probably.
Yeah, if you just got a wallet, just for getting a wallet because it felt good. Yeah, like I had BFF on that slide over there. I didn't talk about them, but yeah, they're amazing. Like they did such a great job, like bringing in and onboarding a lot of new people because they had a celebrity influence, right? So that was like, okay, trustworthy. I get it. Like I trust you because I think you're a great celebrity that I follow. So it like kind of made the space a little more accessible, right? And trusting. So they did an amazing job. And now they're building out basically like an insane loyalty rewards. They're like, all these brands that want to offer a discount to access all of these members, right? So say I have a new product, like an in real life product, say I'm selling these cups and I'm like, I have these amazing wine tumblers. I could offer BFF, all of your holders, I think they have like 5,000 holders, 4,000 holders, something like that, in between there. They all get 50% off my cup, you know, and then I've got what I would consider forward thinking, early adopter, like cutting edge type of women all carrying around my cups. And then this is not my cup, by the way, this is a gift, but I don't sell these cups. But then you have access to this amazing group of spenders, right? And they have 1 million loyalty things you can earn or discounts for different brands based on what your NFT is. Okay, I put this in here because if someone's going to open a wallet, then I get anxiety. It's like I ripped the training wheels off my 3-year-old's bike and then just sent him out without a helmet. So we'll just cover some basic rules of the road. First, before we get to the rules, these are different like podcasts and accounts that might help to follow. I should have updated this now that I'm saying this, Deborah. I didn't even get to this page. I should have added you and Amanda and 3Spaces. I didn't, but clearly if you guys are all here, you're probably following them anyway. But this has been my list for forever. So there's probably a lot of updating and maybe even some deleting, but podcasts and accounts that are good to follow, screenshot it or whatever, just to start you off on your journey. Because most NFT projects live in Twitter. They call it crypto Twitter. And the reason they call it crypto Twitter is not because it's a different Twitter. It's just because the way the algorithm works, like based on what you like and what you comment on, then your homepage of what you see on Twitter is a certain group of people. So if you're existing and commenting and following a lot of people that do cryptocurrency, blockchain, NFTs, it's what you're going to see. So then you've kind of created your little bubble of crypto Twitter is what we call it. These people are all on there. And Instagram is getting there. Like from when I first started this, I used to be like, there ain't no Web3 on Instagram, but that needs to change. Now it's like picking up and it's great because I've always said Twitter's an echo chamber because that's where everybody lives. but the masses are not on Twitter. Like the people we're trying to access are out there, and we need to get out there. Okay, safety. These are like some fun words. Again, feel free to screenshot this. Usually like when I do these in real life, everyone has like a book. So you have to screenshot. If you do get into any of the applications like Discord, which is a place where I said, remember you have an NFT to access like the community's platforms, like how do you engage with those communities? Discord is one of those platforms. Like I built out CoinQueens Circle. They have most 99.9% of them on Discord, and it's a dangerous place. It's a lot of great information. It's a great place to connect with the founders, to learn about like those great questions that Judy asked to Charmaine. Like you could ask those in there, and Charmaine's going to be, I'm sure she has a Discord, she's going to be in there. Her team's going to be in there answering questions to anyone who was thinking about investing. So it's a really great place. But you have to be very safe because there's a lot of scams. So you don't ever want to respond to a direct message. That's what a DM is. You never want to do that. No, Project Charmaine is never going to text you and be like, I'm going to give you private access to my sale right now, and it's going to be 50% off. Send me, $100 in ETH, and you get 10 NFTs for, the price of one. That's not happening. There are no magical sales. There are no magical deals. So always be alert and vigilant. That's just not real. No project's ever going to do that. If you just go to a project's Twitter, then you can use all their official links. You don't click on any random links, only use official links from the site. Don't be checking an email. It's like when you get an email or a text, now it's like text where it's like your Walmart delivery was delayed. Click here. And you're like, I didn't have a Walmart delivery. And then you click it and then they steal your money. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's see what else. There's like lingo, fun words like that people talk about. So feel free to screenshot this and just be careful. Read all these. Don't ever share your seed phrase. By the way, if you opened a crypto wallet and you wrote down that seed phrase, don't share it, please, with anybody, because they can just you'll need that. So you get a new phone, you lose your phone, you break your phone. You can download MetaMask again on your new phone. You're gonna need your seed phrase, okay, to get your stuff back. And then this is what we talked about, like Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. These are the main places that you'll find everybody, and you can follow all of us. If anyone in here is already in these places, please, drop your handles, your chats. I'm CoinQueens.eth everywhere. Yeah, I'm gonna stop my screen share. And if anyone, this would be the time to ask questions, or anyone wants to chat or just come up or give comments, I think I'm going to stop it there, because it's a lot of information for people who are new, and it's like, get a marinate on it. And yeah, so what's everyone got? Does anyone have anything? Oh, and please, 3Spaces.xyz, please follow them. That's Deb's. They're amazing. And Legs and Ledgers, which is doing awesome. Do you know, like Deb, I knew all about 3Spaces, but I didn't really know much about Legs and Ledger. So I'm so excited to learn it. I'm like, dang, why did I buy a ledger on my own? I should have just minted an NFT.
It was kind of an evolution. I mean, Women in Crypto and Legs and Ledgers started the mission, and then that's when we were all talking, and Reed and I were kind of, wow, all these communities that we know in Twitter, in these like online communities, and we wanted to just get it out into the real world, right? To get everyone's going digital, and we're trying to also bridge it back to share what's happening here. So Women in Crypto and Legs and Ledgers really started it, and then that's how it built 3Spaces and the concept of sharing what we're all doing here with the real world. So yeah, you've been amazing. I love listening to you, Heather. This is really awesome. Thank you for hosting this. Oh, you're on mute.
I was muted, just kidding. I mean, thank you. I said thank you. And then, yeah, it's hard. It's usually it's so fun, this like evolution for me also, like you just said, because typically I do these in real life. And then, I have more of like my hands on the people who are in the group. And now it's like this evolution of like, now Deborah or like Natalie, you're hosting one, you said this week. And then, we have other girls who are hosting them coming up, and it's just like, oh, it's so funny. And now it's almost like letting it go, to be like, wait, I want to protect my flock, but now it's your flock, and go be free. And, and I think it's just fun though, because I love for all of the, like I said, I want more women. This is my goal. It's the only reason I started CoinQueens. So I would sit with my husband at the end of the day and be like, well, all these problems that everyone wants to solve, there just needs to be more people doing what I'm doing. That's what if that's what they say they want to do, right? They want to empower women, they want to onboard them, and they want to get them behind their causes. And you have to start here, right? Like everyone gets to the cool creating the Charmaine place without like getting a community first. And like the communities that exist now, I think are exhausted, right? It's like time to bring in like the people. Everyone needs to be coming and participating. So anyway, that's all I have. I'm so, oh, you opened an account for your granddaughter. Yay. Well, Judy, then I think Deborah will connect you to, she'll send you to Juliet. So she will text or she will email Juliet your email. And then you and Juliet she'll shoot you the $100 for it. It'll be amazing. And then she'll get to mint something. It'll be so fun. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. It was actually easy to do. I was surprised.
Isn't it so easy? Like everyone's so when I remember when I was first like I think when I launched this CoinQueens and everyone that was on the call was like, wait, how do people open their wallets? I'm like, it's literally 5 minutes. Like I know I did it in real life. It's not even 5 minutes. It's like your debit card but you know what it is? It's having someone like me with your daughter or someone in your family, like look them in the eye and be like, wait a minute, you swear to God, I can put my debit card in this application and it's not going to scam me because it's all brand new, right? So that's a fair concern to be like, I don't want to play in that. I'm going to lose it. You just need a little rule, just like a little trust. And I think women, especially who are much more risk averse, like men are like much more gamblers and like, I'll take that $10,000 bet on the golf course or whatever. You know what I mean? Where women are like, ew, ridiculous. Like, I'm not even going to put my debit card in this. I know you say crypto's real, but I think it's ridiculous. But then you have someone, you got to look them in the eye and be like, okay, all right, you're not scamming me here. And that's important. So yay, I'm glad.
Quick question from the audience. Louise is wondering if she needs to open it now or can it be after the Zoom call to be entered in the raffle? That's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably like in the next like day or two, because we're gonna need to email Juliet, and then I just don't want it like ongoing for forever. But yeah, for sure.
So anyone who opens one, maybe let us know by morning, and then we'll do the drawing for the three spots. That sound good? Yeah.
Do we need to scan that code again to open it for somebody after the fact?
No, it's just an easier way to do it, but you don't have to do it. It's just an easy, Heather's just making it easy for you.
Yeah, you can do it whenever.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a grandson too.
But just make sure that you, well, I
love
think
them actually.
one per family, but I would just.
Well, one for family, okay.
I think that's fair. Yeah, right. I don't know. No rules, but just make sure that you reach out to one of us to let us know if anyone decides to do one in the next 12 hours so that we, so you can send a message to anyone who's here, either is connected on Twitter with one of us or via email. So just let us know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, cool. Well, Sherry, do you feel like you learned something? I was listening to you at the beginning. You feel like a little bit, or is it too much?
I'm overwhelmed.
Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I need to process it. The one question I have is, I'm thinking of one person, possibly two, that might be interested. Did you record this? Is there a way to share this with somebody else?
I did record it. That's why I interrupted when you were chatting, Deborah. I missed, so I did not record when I started talking. And then when Deborah was introducing herself, my brain goes, you did not click record. So I did record it and I shall share it. I'll upload it. It takes a bit to like download it and upload it, but I will do that by tomorrow and I will make sure that I send it to Deborah so she can send it to you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, yay. All right, love you guys. Well, cheers. 10:24. We went over the hour, sorry, but we did start 6 minutes late, so it's not that far over the hour. And I mean, yeah, it was amazing. So cheers, everybody.
Heather, thank you so much. You are amazing. You're never gonna let me spread my wings and fly. I'm gonna make you do all of these always.
That's okay. I mean, I like it. I literally love this.
Really have just like, I love how hearing you talk about it. Thank you for thanks for everyone who came in today, and have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good night, everybody.
Night. Good night.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it, guys.